And you're live.
So we only have a few minutes because the senators need to go to the floor, so we thought we would spend a minute asking some technical questions. One of the technical questions was, I was absolutely wrong about the House passed version. And so apologize to Senator Beck privately, but I'll do it again. We were so excited about the new reappraisal structure that we removed the statewide adjustment, which I think is getting a little ahead of ourselves about how well the reappraisals will work. Though I am continue to be hopeful that if that really works, we might not even have to have a CLA.
That'd be awesome.
It would be amazing, but again, we sort of got a little ahead of ourselves on that. And so we do need that. There is a technical piece at the very end of the bill related to the statewide adjustment that would be lovely for you all to explain. And then we have a second question.
What is the tech? Sorry, John Gray, Office of Legislative Counsel.
Julia, do you want to jump in and then John?
Sure.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, I can explain this. So, basically, in
Tell us where we are. What am I looking
Very
for?
last
Very
Side by side, very end of the side.
Of the side by side.
Okay.
at least where I am looking, I probably don't have near the number of documents you guys have. So section 69 in the Senate proposal includes a technical fix. This is related to the double application of the statewide adjustment. The way to think about this is the education property tax spending adjustment, what you see listed here, includes in this subdivision 2 a reference to in the denominator multiplying by the statewide adjustment. And what you're multiplying by the statewide adjustment is the property dollar equivalent yield. The issue here is that the December 1 letter, which recommends the property dollar equivalent yield, incorporates in its assumptions the statewide adjustment. So in effect, what happens is if you have that December 1 recommended yield, as we have this year, a yield reflective of that, and then you also multiply through this education property tax spending adjustment, the yield by the statewide adjustment, you just double hit the yield and it produces a wildly different number than what you have. So, and it would be inaccurate. It would not raise what you're trying to do. So there's a technical fix. It is not removing the statewide adjustment from existing law. It is fixing a double application of the statewide adjustment.
Okay.
And I don't want to bust the tax department for not following the law, but my understanding is that this year they've been following sort of the intent rather than the language.
Julie Rector, Design Fiscal Office. This is actually the first year of the statewide adjustment, the upcoming fiscal year,
Yeah.
2026. So the yield bill that you all passed included a yield that had been adjusted by the statewide adjustment. So in conversations with the tax department, all of the numbers folks, legal folks are in agreement that this needs to be repealed in order for the rates to be set at the level that the General Assembly was considering when the yield bill was passed. This is a purely technical correction to ensure that the yield that you all passed follows all of the modeling that you looked at. If this was not passed, then the tax department were to follow the letter of the law, then property tax rates would be significantly higher than they needed to be, solely because there was the statewide adjustment included in a place that it doesn't need to be included.
Okay.
And just to confirm the process, I think we each independently, JFO, tax, and legal all came to the same conclusion, like didn't read each other's analysis before looking at it, and then independently confirmed to each other that that would be the result.
Okay, so it's technical cleanup.
Yes.
Yeah, this is not, there's all, in
Okay.
existing law, there's all sorts of other references to the statewide adjustment throughout.
Okay.
And then our second question is that we have sort of a default system in current law. There's no default in 454.
That's right.
Do you have any ideas?
I don't know, maybe Julie's better suited to pitch ideas on this, but just context for the group. In existing law, right, we notwithstand an in statute tax rate. So you're guaranteed to, if you don't have something that you set in law, you're going to fall back to that rate. In the new structure, the language is just to say that the legislature shall set a uniform homestead and a uniform non-homestead. It doesn't specify a fallback rate in the event that the legislature fails to do that. So I think the discussion we were just having quickly is that if you did something like what seems intuitive, last year's rate, you could put yourself in a bad position in terms of having to litigate the rates in the next year, whereas under the current structure, because the numbers in law are sufficiently higher than what you would expect them to be as set, you're basically always incentivized to correctly set the rates right. So if you're choosing something as a default, you might want to choose something as a default that forces everyone to actually set the rates.
I wonder if the default could just be the current default rate that we have now.
Is there something that needs to be in this bill anyway, because since it's a,
Oh, it could wait till next year.
that's what I'm saying.
I'm scared to lose it,
It could.
though.
Yeah, I just.
Yes, yeah, it's a great flag. Yeah, okay. And
Close there and we'll
we gotta go.